In the hushed shadows of a bustling city, where the bright lights of wealth often blind the weary, a millionaire finds himself stripped of his fortune in the most profound way. Outside the sterile, imposing walls of a hospital, he paces, his heart heavy with despair as his wife lies in a coma, suspended between life and death. The world around him fades into a blur of sirens and whispered prayers, and as he clutches a crumpled photograph of her smiling face, his anguish echoes through the night. It is a moment that transcends wealth, a reminder that no amount of money can shield one from the fragility of life. As he sinks to the pavement, tears streaming down his face, he becomes an unwilling spectator to his own suffering, oblivious to the lives that swirl around him. A street child, ragged and dirty, watches intently from a distance. His eyes, bright with an unusual wisdom, pierce through the millionaire's despair. In that fleeting moment, the child steps forward, breaking the silence with a voice that carries a surprising weight. "Sir, I know how to save your wife," he says, his words hanging in the air like a lifeline thrown into turbulent waters. The millionaire, initially taken aback, feels the ground shift beneath him. Could this child, with nothing to his name, truly hold the key to his wife's salvation? In the heart of this urban landscape, where hope often feels like a distant memory, the encounter unfolds like an unexpected twist in a gripping narrative. The child, with an earnestness that belies his years, shares a story of resilience and survival, revealing a method that defies conventional wisdom. He speaks of ancient remedies whispered among the city's forgotten corners, of a connection to the earth that modern medicine often overlooks. The millionaire, caught in the web of his disbelief and desperation, finds himself drawn into the child's world, where the impossible suddenly seems within reach. The stark contrast between their lives becomes a bridge, connecting two souls in search of hope. As the minutes pass, the atmosphere thickens with tension and possibility. The millionaire's mind races, torn between skepticism and the flicker of hope ignited by the child's conviction. In this moment, the significance of their meeting transcends the immediate crisis. It becomes a profound exploration of human connection, resilience, and the unexpected sources of wisdom that life can present. The millionaire, once ensnared by his own affluence, begins to understand that true wealth lies not in possessions, but in the bonds we forge and the compassion we extend to one another. In the end, the child's words resonate far beyond the hospital's walls. They challenge the millionaire to reconsider his understanding of power and healing, urging him to embrace a path that intertwines the wisdom of the streets with the urgency of his situation. The night deepens, but within the shadows a spark of hope ignites, hinting at a journey that could redefine not just the fate of one woman, but the lives of two unlikely allies brought together by fate's mysterious hand. The sun hung low in the sky, casting long shadows across the bustling city street, where the sounds of honking cars and distant chatter filled the air. Outside the imposing glass facade of St. Mary's Hospital, a man stood alone, his tailored suit a stark contrast to the chaos around him. His face, etched with worry and despair, reflected the weight of the world pressing down on his shoulders. Inside, his wife lay motionless, trapped in a coma, her life hanging by a thread. Each passing minute felt like an eternity, and the sterile smell of antiseptic wafting from the hospital seemed to seep into his very soul. He had everything: wealth, power, and influence, but none of it mattered in this moment. The doctors had offered little hope, and as he struggled to hold back tears, he could only think of the love they had shared, and the laughter that now felt like a distant memory. As he paced back and forth, the man's gaze fell upon a small figure sitting cross-legged on the pavement nearby. A child, no older than 10, with dirt-smudged cheeks and tattered clothes, watched him intently. The child's eyes sparkled with an unusual clarity, as if he could see beyond the surface of despair that enveloped the millionaire. The boy, a street child who had learned to navigate the harsh realities of life on the streets, sensed the man's anguish. He had witnessed countless moments of sorrow and joy, yet this man's grief struck a chord deep within him. With a sudden burst of courage, he stood up and approached, his bare feet silent against the concrete. "Sir," the child called out, his voice steady despite the tremor of uncertainty. The man turned, startled by the interruption. He had not expected anyone to speak to him, let alone a child from the streets. The boy continued, "I know how to save your wife." The words hung in the air, heavy with promise and disbelief. The millionaire's heart raced, caught between skepticism and a flicker of hope. How could this child, with nothing to his name, possibly have the answer to such a monumental question? The world around them faded, and for a moment it was just the two of them, locked in a gaze that transcended their vastly different lives. The child took a step closer, his voice soft yet firm. "I've seen people heal in ways that doctors can't explain. Sometimes it's not just medicine that works." The millionaire felt a wave of confusion wash over him. He had spent years accumulating wealth, believing that money could solve any problem. Yet here was this child, offering a glimpse of something different, something that resonated with the deep instinctual part of him that longed for connection and hope. The child's innocence and conviction stirred something within him, challenging his long-held beliefs. In that moment, the man found himself at a crossroads. He could dismiss the child, retreat back into his world of privilege and despair, or he could embrace this unexpected encounter, allowing it to guide him toward a path he had never considered. As he looked into the boy's eyes, he felt a flicker of possibility ignite within him. Perhaps, just perhaps, the answer to saving his wife lay not in the sterile confines of the hospital, but in the uncharted territory of faith and human connection. As we journey together toward our shared goals, imagine the power of being part of a vibrant community that fuels your passion and inspires growth. By subscribing and sharing your thoughts in the comments, you'll unlock a treasure trove of insights, support, and motivation that can elevate your journey. Join us today, and let's create a space where your voice matters and your aspirations flourish. Together, we can achieve greatness. The cold, sterile air of the hospital corridor buzzed with a tense energy, punctuated only by the distant beeping of machines and the hurried steps of nurses. Outside, a millionaire named Jonathan stood, his tailored suit contrasting sharply with the grim reality of his surroundings. His heart ached as he stared through the glass doors, where his wife lay unresponsive in a coma. The world outside felt surreal, a stark reminder of how quickly life could change. Jonathan, once a man of power and influence, now felt utterly helpless, consumed by worry and despair. He had resources at his disposal, but in this moment, they felt like mere tokens in a game he no longer understood. As he leaned against the wall, lost in his thoughts, a small figure approached. A street child, no older than 10, with dirt-smudged cheeks and wide, curious eyes, stood before him. Jonathan barely noticed at first, too wrapped up in his sorrow, but the child's voice broke through his reverie. Soft, yet insistent. "Sir, I know how to save your wife." The words hung in the air, startling Jonathan from his gloom. He looked down, taken aback by the audacity of the statement. How could this child, with nothing but tattered clothes and bare feet, claim to have the answer? The juxtaposition of their worlds was jarring. Here he was, a man who could buy anything, yet he felt powerless, while this child, with no possessions, offered hope. The significance of that moment rippled through Jonathan's mind. It was not just about a potential solution to his wife's dire condition. It was a profound reminder of the unpredictability of life and the unexpected sources of wisdom it can provide. As he knelt to meet the child's gaze, he felt a flicker of something he hadn't in days: curiosity. "What do you mean?" The child stepped closer, eyes shining with a mix of innocence and determination. "I know a way to make her wake up. You just have to believe." It was a simple yet powerful statement, one that resonated deeply with Jonathan. In a world where faith often felt misplaced, here was a child who still dared to dream. The conversation that followed was a tapestry of ideas, woven with threads of hope, desperation, and the unyielding spirit of youth. The child spoke of stories heard on the streets, of miraculous recoveries and the power of love that transcends even the darkest moments. Jonathan listened intently, his heart racing as he considered the implications. He realized that the child wasn't just offering a solution, he was extending a lifeline, a reminder that sometimes the most profound insights come from the most unexpected places. In that instant, Jonathan understood that wealth and status meant little when faced with the fragility of life. The child had ignited a spark within him, a reminder that hope could be found in the unlikeliest of encounters. He stood up, filled with a renewed sense of purpose. No matter how improbable the child's claims seemed, he was willing to explore every avenue. After all, in the face of love and loss, even a millionaire could learn from a street child, and perhaps, just perhaps, that was the first step towards saving his wife. The city was alive with the sounds of sirens and the distant hum of traffic, But for Marcus, everything faded into a blur as he paced outside the hospital. His mind raced with thoughts of his wife, Clara, who lay unconscious in the ICU, the victim of a sudden aneurysm that had struck without warning. In the past year alone, over 200,000 Americans had suffered from similar incidents, and the statistics weighed heavily on him. Each minute felt like an eternity as he clutched his phone, waiting for updates that never came. The sterile white walls of the hospital felt like a cage, and the bright fluorescent lights only served to amplify his despair. As he leaned against the cold brick exterior, a small voice broke through his thoughts. "Sir, I know how to save your wife." Marcus turned to see a street child, no older than 10, with dirt-streaked cheeks and wide, earnest eyes. The boy's confidence was jarring, especially in the face of Marcus's helplessness. The urgency of the moment struck him. Here was a child who seemed to possess knowledge that could alter the course of his wife's fate. But how could this boy possibly know anything about medical emergencies? Was he just another lost soul, desperate for attention? Yet, a flicker of hope ignited within Marcus. Could this be the breakthrough he so desperately needed? The boy stepped closer, his expression unwavering. "You have to believe me, I've seen things. I know what people need when they're sick." Marcus felt a mixture of skepticism and desperation. The medical world felt distant and cold, filled with jargon he didn't understand, while this child spoke with a clarity that cut through the confusion. He thought of the countless hours spent in waiting rooms, the endless discussions with doctors who spoke in riddles. In that moment, the gap between his world and the boy's felt insurmountable. Yet, what if this child had seen something that could help Clara? What if he held the key to a solution that had eluded the professionals? The boy continued, his voice steady. "I've watched people come and go. I've seen what works. Sometimes it's not just the medicine, it's the heart. You need to talk to her, tell her you love her. That's how you save her." As he spoke, Marcus felt the weight of the situation shift. The boy's words resonated with an ancient truth that transcended medical expertise. Perhaps the answer lay not in the latest treatments or high-tech interventions, but in the simple, profound connection between a husband and wife. The urgency of understanding this moment became clear. He needed to act, not just as a husband, but as a man willing to embrace the emotional truth that could bridge the chasm between life and death. With newfound determination, Marcus knelt down to the boy's eye level, ready to listen, ready to believe. The hospital loomed behind him, a fortress of medical knowledge, but here, in the raw honesty of a child's insight, he felt a glimmer of hope. It was a reminder that sometimes the most profound answers come from the most unexpected places, and the urgency to connect with his wife had never been clearer. In the dim light of a hospital's emergency entrance, a millionaire stands, his face etched with despair. His wife lies in a coma, her life hanging by a thread, and the weight of uncertainty presses heavily on his heart. He is a man accustomed to power and wealth, yet in this moment he feels utterly powerless. The sterile scent of antiseptic fills the air, mingling with the quiet beeping of machines that monitor his wife's condition. Each sound is a painful reminder of the fragility of life, and he clutches his phone, hoping for news that seems increasingly unlikely. As he paces back and forth, his mind races through memories of laughter, love, and shared dreams. He recalls the plans they had made for the future, all of which now seem like distant echoes. In his desperation, he considers every possible avenue to save her, from the finest doctors to the most advanced treatments money can buy. Yet with each passing moment, he feels the walls of reality closing in around him. It is a stark contrast to the life he has led, where wealth could easily bend circumstances to his favor. But here, in this cold, clinical space, he is confronted with the limitations of his riches. Suddenly, a small voice breaks through his reverie. A street child, ragged and dirty, stands a few feet away, watching him with wide, curious eyes. The boy's presence is unexpected, and the millionaire initially dismisses him, consumed by his own anguish. However, the child's gaze is unwavering, filled with a mixture of innocence and wisdom that catches the millionaire off guard. The boy steps forward, his voice barely above a whisper, yet it carries a weight that demands attention. "Sir, I know how to save your wife," he says, his sincerity evident. The millionaire's heart skips a beat, caught between skepticism and a flicker of hope. How could a child living on the streets possibly possess the knowledge to save his beloved? Yet something in the boy's demeanor compels him to listen. The child continues, speaking of a rare herb that grows in the nearby woods, known for its healing properties. It sounds fantastical, almost like a tale spun from the pages of a storybook. Yet in this moment of desperation, the millionaire finds himself drawn to the possibility, the glimmer of hope that maybe, just maybe, this child holds the key to restoring his wife's health. As the boy elaborates on the herb, describing its vibrant green leaves and the way it blooms under the moonlight, the millionaire's mind begins to race with thoughts of the impossible. Could something so simple hold the power to change the course of his wife's fate? He realizes that in his pursuit of wealth, he had overlooked the wisdom that often lies in the most unexpected places. The child's words resonate with him, awakening a sense of humility and a reminder that life's most profound solutions may not always come from the elite or the educated. In that moment, the millionaire is transformed. He feels the weight of his privilege and the burden of his despair begin to lift, replaced by a determination to seek out this herb. The child, a symbol of hope and resilience, has ignited a spark within him. With newfound purpose, he resolves to venture into the woods, not just for his wife's sake, but to embrace the possibility that sometimes the answers we seek lie beyond our expectations, waiting to be discovered in the most unlikely of places. The hospital's sterile walls echoed with the muffled sounds of machinery, but outside a different story unfolded. A millionaire, clad in expensive fabric that contrasted sharply with the desperation in his eyes, paced anxiously. His wife lay in a coma, and hope seemed to be slipping through his fingers like sand. Just then, a street child, ragged yet perceptive, approached him with a glimmer of determination in his gaze. "Sir, I know how to save your wife," he declared. The millionaire, taken aback, felt a rush of disbelief mixed with a flicker of curiosity. The street child's confidence was not born from mere bravado. It stemmed from a keen understanding of the human condition and the power of community. He had witnessed countless people come together, pooling resources and knowledge to effect change. This young boy had learned that sometimes unconventional solutions arise from unexpected places. As the millionaire listened intently, the child began to outline a plan that involved leveraging the community's collective strength. First, the child suggested, we need to gather information. He explained how he had seen others in the neighborhood rally around a common cause, using social media and local networks to spread the word. By reaching out to the hospital staff, they could learn about experimental treatments or clinical trials that might not be widely advertised. The millionaire realized that his wealth, while significant, could be amplified through the voices of many. He envisioned creating a campaign that would not only seek help for his wife, but also raise awareness about the importance of community support in healthcare. Next, the child emphasized the importance of storytelling. People connect with stories, he said. Share your wife's journey, make it personal, make it. The millionaire understood that by humanizing his wife's plight, he could inspire others to contribute, be it through donations, sharing leads on treatments, or simply offering emotional support. He began to draft a heartfelt message that would resonate with others, detailing not just his wife's condition but also their life together, evoking empathy and encouraging action. As they brainstormed, the child suggested organizing a fundraising event. We can invite local businesses to sponsor it, he proposed. Everyone loves a good cause. The millionaire's mind raced with possibilities. He envisioned a community gathering that would not only serve as a platform for raising funds, but also as a means to unite people around a shared goal. By collaborating with local artists, musicians, and food vendors, they could create an event that showcased the community spirit while generating the necessary funds for medical expenses. With a newfound sense of purpose, the millionaire took immediate action. He reached out to local influencers and media outlets to share their story, transforming his initial shock into a movement. The street child's wisdom had sparked a fire within him, leading him to create a dedicated social media campaign that highlighted their journey, complete with updates on his wife's condition and the community's efforts. As days turned into weeks, the impact of their combined efforts became evident. Donations poured in, and the community rallied around the cause, proving that even in the darkest moments, hope could flourish. The millionaire realized that the child's insight had not only provided a potential lifeline for his wife, but had also forged an unbreakable bond between him and the community. In that moment, he understood that sometimes The most profound solutions come from the most unexpected sources. In the dim light of the hospital's waiting room, a millionaire paced anxiously, his thoughts swirling in a tempest of despair. His wife lay in a coma, the machines around her beeping rhythmically, a stark reminder of the fragility of life. As he wrestled with his emotions, a street child, ragged yet perceptive, approached him with an unexpected proposition. "Sir, I know how to save your wife," the boy declared, his voice steady despite the chaos around them. The millionaire, caught off guard, felt a mix of skepticism and curiosity. What could a street child possibly know about saving someone from the brink of death? Yet in that moment of desperation, the man's heart opened to the possibility that solutions might come from the most unlikely sources. The street child, with a wisdom that belied his years, spoke of alternative healing methods that had been whispered about in the shadows of the city. He mentioned the power of holistic approaches, emphasizing the importance of emotional and spiritual well-being in recovery. Research has shown that patients in comas often respond to familiar voices and the energy of those who love them. This child suggested that the millionaire share stories with his wife, recounting cherished memories and dreams for the future. Such narratives could stimulate emotional responses, potentially bridging the gap between consciousness and the void. Studies indicate that the brain, even in a comatose state, retains the ability to process auditory stimuli, making the act of speaking to a loved one a powerful tool for connection. As the millionaire listened, he felt a flicker of hope igniting within him. He realized that wealth and status had little bearing on the most profound aspects of healing. He began to explore the idea of integrating the child's insights with medical expertise. He reached out to the hospital staff, advocating for a more holistic approach to his wife's care. This included not only traditional medical interventions, but also the incorporation of music therapy and guided imagery, both of which have shown promise in enhancing recovery outcomes. Engaging the services of a trained therapist, he learned how to create a serene environment filled with soothing sounds and familiar scents, all designed to evoke memories and comfort. Days turned into weeks, and the millionaire remained steadfast in his commitment to this unconventional path. He would sit by his wife's bedside, sharing stories of their travels, laughter, and the simple joys of life. The street child's wisdom echoed in his mind, reminding him that healing is not merely a physical process, but a journey of the heart and spirit. Miraculously, one day, a flicker of recognition crossed his wife's face, a sign that she was beginning to respond. The millionaire felt a rush of emotions, a blend of joy and gratitude that transcended the material wealth he had once valued above all else. In that moment, he understood that true richness lies not in possessions, but in the connections we forge and the love we share. The street child had opened his eyes to a world of possibilities, reminding him that sometimes the most profound insights come from those we least expect. With renewed determination, he continued to nurture the bond with his wife, embracing the journey of healing together, a testament to the power of love and hope. In the quiet corridors of a hospital, a millionaire stood outside, his heart heavy with despair as he awaited news of his wife, who lay in a coma. The sterile scent of antiseptic filled the air, mingling with the muffled sounds of medical machinery. As he paced, his mind raced with thoughts of wealth and power, yet he felt utterly helpless. In stark contrast, a street child observed him from a distance, a glimmer of understanding in his eyes. The child, who had faced the harsh realities of life alone, approached the distraught man with an unexpected proposition. "Sir, I know how to save your wife." This moment encapsulates a profound truth about human experience. Desperation can drive people to seek solutions in the most unlikely places. Research indicates that individuals often overlook unconventional wisdom during crises, focusing instead on traditional avenues of help. A study published in the Journal of Health Psychology highlights how stress can narrow cognitive focus, leading to a reliance on familiar solutions rather than innovative ones. The millionaire, consumed by his wealth and societal status, might have dismissed the child's words as naive. Yet it is often those who have endured the most who possess unique insights into overcoming adversity. The street child's statement, while shocking, reflects a deeper understanding of resilience and resourcefulness. Children in urban poverty often develop survival skills that are not immediately recognized by those in more fortunate circumstances. For instance, a report from the United Nations Children's Fund, UNICEF, reveals that street children frequently exhibit remarkable adaptability and problem-solving abilities shaped by their need to navigate complex environments. This child, despite his circumstances, may hold knowledge or a perspective that could indeed offer a glimmer of hope to the grieving millionaire. As the millionaire processed the child's words, he was confronted with a choice: to cling to his disbelief or to explore the potential of this unexpected ally. The tension between societal status and human connection is a recurring theme in narratives of personal crisis. A study by the Pew Research Center found that social isolation can exacerbate feelings of helplessness, particularly among those who are used to relying on their wealth for solutions. In this moment, the millionaire faced a crossroads. Would he allow his socio-economic status to blind him to the wisdom of a child who had seen the world through a different lens? In many cultures, the notion that wisdom can come from the most unexpected sources is a powerful narrative. Folklore and literature are replete with tales of humble figures offering profound insights that change the course of events. The millionaire's shock at the child's claim mirrors a broader societal tendency to undervalue the voices of the marginalized. By acknowledging the potential for wisdom in all individuals, regardless of their circumstances, society can foster a more inclusive dialogue about healing and support. Ultimately, this encounter serves as a reminder of the interconnectedness of human experience. The millionaire's wealth could provide him with access to the best medical care, yet it was the child's perspective that might illuminate a path forward. In a world where the lines between privilege and poverty often dictate interactions, moments like these challenge us to reconsider the value of every voice, reminding us that hope can emerge from the most unexpected places. In a poignant scene outside a hospital, a millionaire grapples with despair as he watches his wife lie in a coma. His wealth, typically a source of power and control, feels utterly impotent in the face of her critical condition. The emotional turmoil is palpable. He is consumed by fear and helplessness, a stark contrast to the life of privilege he has always known. As he cries out for help, his anguish echoes through the sterile hospital corridors, revealing the raw vulnerability that wealth cannot shield him from. This moment captures the essence of human fragility, emphasizing that regardless of financial status, everyone faces moments of profound crisis. Amidst this turmoil, a street child, unnoticed and seemingly insignificant, observes the millionaire's plight. With a glimmer of hope in his eyes, he approaches the distraught man and boldly claims, "Sir, I know how to save your wife." This unexpected encounter serves as a turning point in the narrative, introducing a layer of complexity and intrigue. The child's confidence stands in stark contrast to the millionaire's despair, suggesting that solutions can come from the most unlikely sources. The juxtaposition of their worlds, one of wealth and privilege, the other of hardship and survival, highlights the often overlooked wisdom that can emerge from those who navigate life's challenges daily. As the millionaire processes the child's assertion, he experiences a whirlwind of emotions: disbelief, skepticism, and a flicker of hope. The street child's claim challenges the millionaire's understanding of power and control, prompting him to reconsider the boundaries of expertise and knowledge. This moment is not just about a potential solution for his wife. It symbolizes a deeper exploration of how societal roles and perceptions can shape our responses to crises. The narrative invites the audience to reflect on the value of humility and the importance of remaining open to unconventional wisdom, regardless of one's status. The tension builds as the millionaire stands at a crossroads, faced with the decision to either dismiss the child's words or embrace the possibility of an alternative path to saving his wife. This internal struggle encapsulates a universal theme: the search for hope in the darkest of times. The audience is drawn into this emotional landscape, feeling the weight of the millionaire's choice. Will he allow his preconceived notions to cloud his judgment, or will he take a leap of faith, inspired by the unexpected guidance of a child who has seen and experienced life in ways he cannot fathom? As the story approaches its climax, the stakes are heightened. The resolution promises to unveil whether the millionaire can transcend his initial shock and embrace the wisdom offered by the street child. This pivotal moment serves as a reminder that sometimes the answers we seek lie outside the confines of our expectations. It is a powerful testament to the interconnectedness of human experiences, where empathy and understanding can bridge the gap between disparate lives. The audience is left anticipating the outcome, eager to discover how this unlikely alliance may reshape not only the fate of the millionaire's wife, but also the lives of both individuals involved. In a gripping scene outside a hospital, a millionaire's emotional turmoil is palpable as he grapples with his wife's critical condition. His wealth, once a source of pride, feels utterly powerless in the face of her coma. Amidst his despair, a street child approaches, offering a glimmer of hope with an unexpected assertion, "Sir, I know how to save your wife." This moment encapsulates the profound intersection of desperation and possibility, prompting an exploration of the dynamics at play. The millionaire, initially taken aback, is faced with a choice that transcends his financial standing. The child's words serve as a catalyst for reflection on the true value of life and the solutions that may lie outside conventional boundaries. To navigate this uncharted territory, the millionaire must first engage with the child, seeking to understand the basis of his claim. This interaction could unfold into a dialogue that reveals the child's unique insights, perhaps rooted in a personal experience or a connection to alternative healing practices. The millionaire, burdened by his wealth, may find that the child's perspective offers a fresh lens through which to view his wife's situation. By fostering this connection, he not only opens himself to new possibilities, but also acknowledges the inherent wisdom that can emerge from unexpected sources. This engagement could lead to a collaborative exploration of potential treatments, emphasizing the importance of community and shared knowledge in the face of adversity. As the narrative progresses, the millionaire's journey could evolve into a broader quest for understanding. He might consider reaching out to medical professionals and holistic practitioners alike, gathering diverse opinions on his wife's condition. This multifaceted approach not only enriches his knowledge, but also empowers him to make informed decisions. By embracing a holistic view, he can explore alternative therapies alongside traditional medicine, creating a comprehensive treatment plan that honors both his wife's needs and the insights gained from the child. This strategy underscores the importance of adaptability and openness in crisis situations, demonstrating that solutions often emerge from a blend of conventional wisdom and innovative thinking. The expected outcome of this transformative journey is twofold. On a personal level, the millionaire may find renewed hope and purpose as he navigates the complexities of his wife's health. This experience could foster a deeper understanding of empathy and resilience, reshaping his values and priorities. On a broader scale, the millionaire's willingness to embrace unconventional solutions could inspire others facing similar challenges, emphasizing the power of community and collaboration in healing. By sharing his story, he has the potential to spark a movement that encourages individuals to look beyond their circumstances, fostering a culture of compassion and innovation in healthcare. In conclusion, the millionaire's encounter with the street child serves as a powerful reminder that hope can emerge from the most unexpected places. By engaging with diverse perspectives and embracing a holistic approach to healing, he can not only seek to save his wife, but also transform his own understanding of wealth and value. As he stands at this crossroads, the call to action is clear: to open his heart and mind to listen, and to act in ways that honor both his wife's journey and the wisdom of those around him. In doing so, he may discover that true richness lies not in material possessions, but in the connections forged through shared experiences and collective healing. In the poignant narrative of the millionaire outside the hospital, we witness a striking juxtaposition of wealth and vulnerability. The millionaire, consumed by despair as he grapples with his wife's critical condition, embodies the desperation that transcends financial status. His emotional turmoil is palpable, revealing that even the most affluent individuals are not insulated from the raw pain of loss and uncertainty. The street child, with his unassuming presence and unexpected wisdom, serves as a catalyst for reflection. He represents a world often overlooked, where innocence and survival coexist in stark contrast to the millionaire's opulence. This encounter highlights the profound truth that solutions to our deepest dilemmas may come from the most unexpected sources. The child's assertion that he knows how to save the millionaire's wife is not merely a plot twist. It symbolizes hope and the potential for connection across societal divides. As the narrative unfolds, we are invited to reflect on the nature of wealth and the true essence of life. The millionaire's shock upon hearing the child's claim is a moment of awakening, prompting him to reconsider what truly matters in life. This interaction emphasizes that knowledge and wisdom can arise from experiences far removed from conventional success. The street child, despite his circumstances, possesses insight that the millionaire lacks in his moment of crisis. This encounter serves as a reminder that every individual, regardless of their status, has something valuable to offer. The emotional resonance of the scene encourages us to embrace humility and openness, recognizing that life's lessons often come from the most unexpected encounters. Ultimately, this narrative encourages us to look beyond the surface of our lives and the roles we play within society. It challenges us to seek understanding and connection, reminding us that compassion and empathy are the true currencies of life. In a world where we often measure success by material wealth, the story of the millionaire and the street child invites us to redefine our perspectives. It inspires us to appreciate the richness of human experience, where hope can emerge from the unlikeliest of sources. As we navigate our own challenges, may we remain open to the wisdom that surrounds us, recognizing that every individual has the potential to illuminate our paths in ways we may never have anticipated. In the end, it is not the wealth we accumulate, but the connections we forge and the compassion we extend that truly enrich our lives.